Today, my name is Aaron. I'm coming at you live from Singapore.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to
Chips for everybody.
Chips for everybody. Yeah, that would be an FYI.
we have Oleg and Mark. How's it going? Welcome to the stream and thanks for joining us.
I'm in San Francisco Bay Area, a little less snow than you guys see up.
How's it going, Tommy?
Hey guys, how are you?
Daniel, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
Is Azure function is just an entry point to Hey, what's up everyone on the internet? Thanks for joining us today. Whatever you're joining us, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, or LinkedIn, thanks again for joining us for another live session. We've been hosting a lot of live sessions this year with a lot of exciting content, exciting things to share. So for those of you who missed our previous events, feel free to check them out on YouTube. Under the developer events playlist. Today we have a pretty exciting pretty exciting content to cover. We're going to be talking about a year in review with the Solace APIs. So myself, Tamimi, developer advocate at Solace, I will be joined by Aaron, and I will get him to the stream shortly. Aaron,
hey,
how's it going?
Right. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I am okay. Yeah, we're doing this live. Unlike some of those other more marketing type ones, which are all pre-recorded, we're doing it live. You know,
we're doing it live. Yes,
good.
Yeah. I'm all about doing things live and seeing. We're gonna have a live demo as well. We're gonna have a hands-on live demo.
That's right.
Today, which is pretty
things will
cool,
probably go wrong because they always do during.
Fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong. But we are always ready to get content input from the audience as well. So everything is going live. So feel free to message us. Aaron, where are you joining us from?
Hey, I'm still in Ottawa. So it is a balmy 10 degrees here today. Centigrade for those in the States.
Okay. 10 degrees centigrade. That's good.
It's we're having one really, really warm day. It's supposed to go up to 13. My phone's ringing. That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how much longer to stay. I got to get back to Singapore at some point. So this might be my last stream from Ottawa for the next little while. So.
Okay. Man. Yes, I am. I'm joining from Vancouver, Canada, and it is 9 a.m. here in Vancouver. Anyone on the stream, let us know where you're joining us from. Please put it in the chat window. What city, state, country you're joining us from. We have people joining us from around the world. We have Gary from India. What's up, Gary? Thanks for joining us. Kyle Scott is sending us a fire emoji. Thanks for the fire emoji, Kyle. It's warming up, which is great. So again, anybody, just let us know where you're joining us from as we get started. So without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into what we have. I will share my screen. All right, so a year in review, Solace APIs, and we're going to cover some cool features. So basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to do a little bit back to the future, seeing what we've done this past year, not too distant to the future, just over the past year, but let's see what we're going to cover. So the Solace broker is a multilingual, multi-protocol broker. Some of you have seen this before, this diagram. We really take pride in the fact that our Solace PubSub Plus broker is language agnostic and protocol agnostic. Today, we're going to be focusing on the native Solace API component of this diagram that you're seeing. So a lot of people would ask, why should we use native APIs over open protocols? So Aaron, in the previous diagram, we saw that the Solace broker supports protocol translations and API translation between different open protocols and open standards.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would people use the native Solace APIs over any other open protocols?
Well, are you going to show us on the next slide, or should I give some answers?
I would.
Hey, David, by the way. Hey, Dave. Hey, Paul. Venice, that's pretty awesome. Well,
nice.
Well done. Hope you're safe out there. Hello. Welcome. So yeah, why do you want to use native APIs versus open standards? Well, there's some good reasons.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool features that you can get from the native Solace APIs that can extend the features that are offered in the wireline. So some of the features you can get access to, kind of like request reply, DMQ and poison message handling, transactions, message eliding, message replay. So you can see the list of features on the slide here. But also there's like a lot of more features that you can get with using the native Solace API. So basically, the Solace native APIs gives you access to all the Solace features as well that are supported in the Solace broker.
That's the main thing. I mean, we're not saying that you don't have access to any of these features if you're using MQTT or AMQP, for example. A lot of them are. You can do them. Sometimes it's via the broker rather than through the API specifically. Request reply, MQTT 5 now supports that. MQTT 3.1 didn't. So, but yeah, the point is that exactly our native APIs expose every single feature that Solace builds into the broker. So if you want the full range of power and options, then yeah, the native APIs are going to get you that.
Yeah, Aaron, you mentioned some of these features you can still have access to them through the open standards and open protocols. So right now, we do support MQTT 5, and you could do request reply, for example, with MQTT 5, or setting user properties. You can do it with open standards and open protocols.
That's right. Yeah. Same message replay, right? I mean, so the broker supports replay. You can initiate it via the admin console. So you can control it that way. But if you want to initiate a replay via your API from the client application, then you would need to use a Solace API to kind of make that specific replay request, for example. So it's
cool.
Some of these are available for our open standards.
Right. From a Solace API perspective, so Solace native APIs, we have C, C#, Java, JavaScript, Python, and we have a new upcoming API soon, and this is kind of like a Christmas gift from Solace, an early Christmas gift from Solace. We're going to be talking about it shortly. But these are kind of the native Solace APIs. Aaron, do you want to talk a little bit more about the Java,
we've kind of rolled this up by language, but of course there are kind of, for example, Java, we have a number of different Java APIs. So we have our old school JCSMP API.
Yep.
We have our brand new Java API, which I'm going to be talking about in just a second.
Nice.
And we also have a JNI wrapped Java API called Java RTO, which is essentially our C API that's been kind of JNI wrapped, which allows you to kind of build an application with very little garbage collection, for example. Also we have, Spring Boot, Spring Cloud Stream binders. Those are Java. So, this is more by language and not necessarily the exact number of APIs that we have. So, but you can find samples for almost all of these on our GitHub repo. But today we're talking about these two new ones here.
Awesome. Yep. Today we'll be talking about the new Java API and the Python API. So, Solace PubSub Plus Messaging API for Java. To you.
My slide. All right. I'll talk to this. So, earlier this year, we released the 1.0 version of the brand new Solace PubSub Plus Messaging API for Java. A bit of a mouthful. Internally, a lot of people call it New Java API, but we're not officially calling it that, so don't call it that. But that's essentially what it is. It's a brand new Super modern, very, JCSMP is our oldest and most popular API out of all of the Solace ones. And we're hoping that to modernize it, remove a lot of legacy references that you might see, kind of XML peppered around the namespace. So yeah, brand new Java API. It's built as a wrapper around JCSMP. So JCSMP will never go away. It'll never be deprecated. There's a ton of existing applications out there in the world that use JCSMP. We're never getting rid of it, so don't stress. But if you're writing a new application, please consider checking out the new Java API. A lot of new support for new kind of modern features. It requires Java 1.8, so support for like lambdas. The builder pattern is used heavily throughout it. So when you're creating a session, when you're creating a connection, a publisher, a subscriber, a consumer object, message, that's all done using the builder patterns. Completable features to allow you to build kind of like asynchronous, and support for blocking stuff as well. So both kind of, it's much more easy, and it was designed to be easy to use, simplified interface, used for like microservice architectures. But yeah, let's cover a few differences here between it and JCSMP if you are familiar with it. The new Java API now supports kind of multiple receivers per connection, and each receiver can have its own callback. And so essentially, this is now we've implemented topic dispatch in the Java API. If you're familiar with topic dispatch, it is in the C API, and it allows the client application to, the API will call different callbacks depending on the direct topic message that it receives from the broker, rather than just having a single session-based callback for everything. There is a new threading model. There are now more threads being created and instantiated inside the Java API. There's kind of essentially a one thread per receiver, and when you make a publisher, there's kind of like a thread per publisher. And there is now this kind of built-in, there's different modes that you can operate in, where you can specify, whether you want the API to buffer incoming messages while you're processing them, kind of the elastic mode, and they'll basically use up as much memory as you have. There's a blocking mode where you specify a size of the kind of internal buffer between the API and the application. And then there's a reject mode where once that, that buffer is kind of exhausted, you start rejecting messages coming from the broker. So it really allows you to fine tune your application behavior for like either pulling or pushing, the same thing on the publishing side. If your connection is down, how many messages do you want to buffer before kind of trying to block?
Right, and this kind of like the back pressure strategy, like back.
It's exactly. It's called the back pressure strategy. You're right. I should have had that word on this slide. So.
No worries. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So those are the biggest differences. Yeah, it's up on Maven, Gradle. If you have, this is basically just it doesn't say JCSMP anymore or Sol JCSMP. So this is kind of, I just grabbed this out of my Gradle build file. The 1.0 was released in September. So be sure to go and check it out. We're going to see a demo. We're going to see a demo about it at the end. So, yep.
Soon. Awesome. As for the Solace PubSub Messaging API for Python, it was built as a wrapper around CCSMP. It was released earlier this year. Right now, we have 1.2, version 1.2 released. We do have samples for the Python API as well. Some of the supported features, for the Python API, you can use it right now to do any of these features that you see on the screen, whether it's sending and receiving direct messages all the way to structured data types and having different authentication management with the Python API. Now, I did list, Aaron and I did talk about kind of the new features or the features that are supported with the API, but you can definitely see a list of the release notes for the APIs on a regular basis. Anytime we have new releases, we release notes on our Solace community. So this is another reason why you should join the Solace community now. And check out the release notes section. We do put more details on this.
Very, very useful to keep the community updated from the product emails that go out. So
awesome. We have another Christmas gift from Solace, the brand new Solace PubSub Messaging API for Go. So wrap it around CCSMP. There's a lot of cool things about the Go API. So if you recall the diagram that I showed earlier, there was a new API coming up, which is the Go API. We have more details about the Go API on our Solace community. We have a closed group for early access. We will actually be releasing the early access Go API today. So if you're on the call, yes, that is correct. But
So excited.
if I had like sound effects, I would have put like some music around. Aaron, music, go.
Bum, bum,
And
bum, 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 bum.
there you go. We planned this. We did it. And so we have the Go API released today. Let us know in the chat window. So whether you're in Twitter, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube.
Or Windows.
Oh, Windows. Put it in the chat video if you're watching it live, which API you're using or which API you'd like to use. And come join the community, the closed group, request access so you can have access to the Go API coming up soon. All right. So we have other cool features.
Yeah, so I kind of just, these aren't all necessarily API features, but some of them are broker features. But I did think that these are notable mentions. Some of them I'm quite excited about that happened in the last year. RDP variable substitutions. This is a new feature that came out in the broker 9.11, came out in September. And it allows for very easy integration with cloud native services and RESTful architectures. Where we've in our Solace broker, you can configure it either to be a gateway, a micro gateway REST mode, or the REST messaging mode. And in the REST messaging mode, the broker will actually webhook or post out to a URL to send it messages. So if you're publishing with JMS or Python or whatever, that message can then land on a queue and go out to a REST endpoint. Well, so now with this variable substitutions, you can dynamically build the post target request, and you can add headers and other cool stuff as well based on the contents of the message. So time permitting, we're going to hopefully have a quick demo of that at the end of the broadcast today.
Nice.
Replay. So Solace built replay into the broker quite a while ago. You could specify either from kind of the beginning of time, from the beginning of the replay log, or from a specific timestamp down to the exact second. But that level of granularity wasn't actually good enough for some people. They wanted to say, I want to start playing from exactly this specific message. And so we built that. So now Solace Replay supports replaying from a specific message ID. We actually had to build a new message header called replication group message ID, which, because when you have a distributed event mesh with brokers kind of all over the place, and we needed kind of a way to kind of make a unique sequenced UUID. So there's a new, if you're using the new broker, you'll notice your messages now sometimes contain this replication group message ID. So
and that can be triggered from the API as well.
From the API or from the broker itself. JavaScript API enhancements, notable, one of the things that was kind of lacking in our JavaScript API was the ability to provision from within the API itself guaranteed endpoints such as queues and topic endpoints. All of our other native APIs allow you to do this, to provision endpoints on the broker and to add topic subscriptions to them. So, as with our best practices, you generally create a queue if you want to use guaranteed messaging. And then because we're all about topic routing, you add topic subscriptions, wildcards, whatever to that queue. So that is now available and brand new, just released. I know this has been something that's been asked for by a number of customers around the globe. Is TypeScript definitions for the API. So now that is just fresh off the press. Download the most recent 10.9.
Fresh off the press, right away.
Off our downloads page or wherever else you consume our JavaScript API. Two other quick ones. Number of messages per transaction has been increased. So up until we're talking about session transactions here, not XA. And we've been limited to 255 messages per transaction since I joined Solace about 10 years ago. This is now increased. However, there are some caveats just because transactions are very broker resource intensive. So it's kind of a controlled feature that we say, you should run your use case by us. Don't try to use a tiny broker and make transactions that are like 10,000 messages big. That's just not going to probably work that well. So number of messages per transaction has been increased. And come and ask us on the community if it's going to support your use case. And finally, MQTT 5.0 support. Solace has supported MQTT 3.1.1 for many years, and now we have MQTT 5 support, which allows you to do a couple other new cool things in MQTT, such as request reply, custom user properties, shared subscriptions, and a couple other things.
And we have a community post about the MQTT 5.0 support that lists all the features that you can do with MQTT 5. So if you want to check it out, go to the community, search for MQTT 5.0, and you will see a post by myself on the community talking about the features about MQTT5.
All right.
All right, we're gonna jump into the live demo soon, but we have 3 more things before we jump into the live demo that I want to cover. We have Solace API tutorials. So if you go to tutorials in Solace Dev, we are putting together all our API supported APIs. So that you can see Solace APIs, open standard APIs, and management APIs, which is our SEMP. All the different APIs, you can go into it, check out tutorials, check out the GitHub resources. This is open source, so anybody can contribute to it. Anybody can fix any bugs in it as well if there's any issues. Obviously, it's bug-free. This is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. So good luck finding bugs. Just kidding. It's open source, and we are always open to get any feedback. Joining the Solace community. I always put this plug in most of the things that I talk to. There are 5 main reasons why you should join the Solace community right now. You get answers to your questions. You get early access to new APIs like the Go API that's coming out today. You have visibility to roadmap. People talk about the roadmaps at the Solace community, so you can go in there, discuss and interact. You can connect with other people, whether they're internally at Solace or Solace Solace employees, Solace prospects, and Solace customers, and even just community who are interested in event-driven development, the domain of event-driven development overall. And then you have access to exclusive swag. Who doesn't like swag? We obviously like swag. So if you want swag, come join the community. We constantly have events, raffles, and challenges to give out swag. And lastly, before we jump into the cool aspect of today's demo, we have a brand new certificate out for people to check it out. It's available right now. It's free. Go to training.solace.com. Get your badge, submit the exam, and become a developer, Solace developer, certified practitioner. So I hope you guys are doing it. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And again, if you have any questions, put it in the chat window or go to the community and post it there. So without further ado, let's get our hands working with the keyboard and get the demo going. And I will quit this. I'll share your screen shortly, Aaron. And
it's my turn. Yeah. So hopefully this goes well. I mean, we're not going to. It's not going to be a huge long demo. We're just going to kind of show a bit of source code and just kind of like getting things running here, and hopefully a bit of interactivity between our 2 sides. So
cool. All right. I am ready to share your
screen
screen whenever you're ready, Aaron.
Yeah, I'll switch to go ahead.
Perfect.
I'll post a couple links into the chat as well, some of the things that you might want to reference. This is a great blog by Andrew McKenzie that kind of talks all about the new Java API, goes into some of the details on. So if you want a bit more detail on kind of what was added, why we built this thing, topic dispatch, the builder pattern, all this kind of stuff, it's a great read that kind of summarizes the new Java API. So, so I'm going to be downloading and playing with some intro Hello World samples from the Solace Samples GitHub repo. You can find this at github.com/Solace Samples, where we have all of our different samples and APIs and languages and things. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Solace Samples Java, and I'm going to go ahead and clone the repo. Let's hope this all works very smoothly. So let's see, git clone. Can you read that to Mimi? Is that all right?
Oh, yep, that's good.
To API live stream. Let's put it into a new folder here. Is that going to work? Let's see. Password. There we go. Nice. There it is. Okay, so if I wanted to take a look at it, let's load up VS Code here very quickly. It's going to download it. Give me a break. All right. Well, while that's doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and build it. So let me just bring up a new tab here. So this is all done using Gradle. So I'm just going to say Gradle assemble. It's going to go ahead and take a few seconds here to load up the daemon.
And you can see the steps on the README on the GitHub page. So when you go to samples and whatever Aaron is doing right now, it is clearly documented.
This is what I'm doing
in the README. So we just did the clean assemble.
I'm literally doing these 3 steps. This is it. Gradle W, clean assemble. Well, it's clean because I just downloaded it.
You just
on it. And then it puts it builds some run scripts. It builds some jars, puts everything under build stage, and then we're going to run a hello world. Nice. So that built successfully, which is great. You'll notice that if I quickly check the build file, that I have updated it to be using new version of Log4j, you know, this whole Log4j panic that's been going on around the world. So that's kind of updated now, even though these are just samples, you know, you're not gonna, anyway. So here we go, build stage, ls bin. You can see VS Code. Oh, I finished loading. Well, we'll take a look at that in a second. I'll take a look. We can maybe take a look at the code. We're just going to run it. So if I say bin/hello world, it's going to ask me where I want to connect. Now, for this live stream, Tamimi and I actually made a public broker that you know, we can give people access to. It is at, so first thing is host. So public.messaging.solace.cloud. If you out there have an API or have some code that you're able to run, you want to join in on the fun, we're going to be, you can post some topics and stuff. VPN is called public. Client username is called public. The password is called public 123. That's all you got to do. Just give it some location of where you're going to connect to. If you're running the Docker container or a broker locally, obviously this would just be localhost, et cetera, et cetera. Give it a name, Aaron, and it's just going to start up. You'll see it connects, ready to publish, and we should start seeing some messages here. Yeah, so basically I'm publishing and subscribing to myself on this topic, Solace samples Java. Hello, Aaron. And hello world from Aaron. There's my messages. So I'm publishing and subscribing to myself. Very simple little app. Let me show this code really quickly.
We need to
Java.
zoom in just a bit.
Yeah, I will as soon as I find the right
patterns, right? Okay.
There we go. Hopefully, whoa, too far. Is that all right? Can you?
Yeah, if you click the icon at the top left to.
You want to get rid of that? Nah, it's
fine. Oh, no, it's good. Actually, it's good.
You're good. Yeah. So, very simple. Just read some command line parameters. Grabs the name. You know, obviously a real app doesn't need to read your name. Have a properties object here, just a standard Java properties, no more JCSMP properties. Populate it with all of the required bits and pieces. So VPN name, host name, username. And you can see here that here's an example of the builder pattern. I'm saying I'm creating a new messaging service with configuration profile v1 from these properties, build connect, boom, one go. Once you have your properties file, and you can load the properties from a file, you can load it from environment variables. There's a number of different ways of building this object. And then once that's done, I'm now going to create a publisher object. And again, using the builder pattern. So messaging service creates direct message publisher, or guaranteed if we're using that, on the what back pressure strategy I want to use, and then start. So very simple, no more, you know, XML, no more, you know, it's a much more modern, simplified way of building this.
So it's a publisher and a receiver, just publishing and receiving the same.
Exactly. So I'm receiving, I'm also building a receiver. So yeah, this, as most Solace applications are, they publish and receive. You know, even if you're mostly publishing, you might still want to receive some messages. So having both is a good idea. And you can see that I'm adding a topic subscription to, this is Solace samples / hello greater than. So I should be able to see other samples, and then I just loop. I'm basically looping every 5 seconds. I'm publishing.
Nice.
So there we go. That's my my Java API samples. I'm going to leave this running here, and we're going to take a look at it after Tamimi has done his thing.
Awesome. Okay, so I will share my screen. So Aaron, keep your app running. So there I am. I'm sharing my screen, and you could can realize that it's a Mac machine. But there you go. I'm going to go ahead to the Solace samples. I want to run my Python samples. So again, go to gabs.com, Solace samples. You see the Solace samples Python over here. So what I'm going to do is clone this repo. So I'm going to do a git clone this into,
better.
Okay. So git clone into demo Python. Cloning into demo Python. I'm going to go into demo Python, and I'm going to create a virtual environment as per the steps here. So I will create a virtual environment to install my dependencies in it.
Is that necessary? Or, I mean, I guess it installs it in the global namespace.
Yeah,
already,
so it's kind of like best practices if you are running a Python script locally, is to create a virtual environment to encapsulate all your dependencies that you want to download into that environment into that directory.
Makes it cleaner, I guess, if you're working with multiple versions or something.
Totally. I'm going to activate the virtual environment over here. Oops. So source vn activate. Oops. Then activate. I don't want to put my password. Go. And why do I have a thing here? Okay. I've activated my virtual environment, and all I have to do is install my requirements. So do a pip install from the requirements file.
So manual. Gradle just downloads all those those dependencies for you.
I forgot to upgrade my pip. I should have upgraded my pip in here. There you go.
There we go. Live demos, everybody.
Live demos.
That's
great.
how you need that. Now you know that this is for real because there's something went wrong.
the beauty of live demos. So
right.
Let me open this in VS Code as well to see what I just installed. So if I go to the requirements file, so I'm literally just installing the requirements that I needed to run the samples. So you see the Solace PubSub Plus 1.2 is there as well. So looking at the README, so if I want to run the hello world, so you can see in my patterns, I do have a bunch of different samples over here, and I want to run my hello world just to check it out and see it. My hello world, similar to what Aaron just showed earlier in his Java hello world. What this would do is I have my direct publisher. So I create a direct publisher and start it. And then I publish on predefined topics in a loop. And then you'll get to see what am I publishing. And then I have create a subscriber, basically, that subscribes to the topics that I want to publish on. And then every 5 seconds, so you see I put a sleep 5 seconds, publishes a message, and then I subscribe. So
pretty similar,
pretty similar. So let's go ahead and use this. So I'll show you what I am doing over here.
One thing I'll mention while Tamimi's adding all his parameters is that the new Java API, the new Python API, and the upcoming Go API are all kind of being modeled in a very similar way. So all of our, I guess might say, old school native APIs had a very kind of similar look and feel. The C, the C#, the Java APIs. The new version APIs, they're all also being modeled in a very similar way. So the builders, the concept of a publisher object, a receiver object, these are being kind of carried across the different new APIs. So if you're familiar with one, then learning, another one is actually a pretty low barrier to entry.
Right. Yeah. So this idea of the builder pattern, you're going to see it. We just saw it in the Java API. Now we're seeing it in the Python API, and we will see it as well in the Go API, having a message service builder, and then you build whatever you want from it. So I'm going to go ahead. I pass the parameters that I want and ran my hello world. I'm going to put my name as Tamimi. So what I'm doing is every 5 seconds, I am publishing to a topic. And you can see here, I want to point out a couple things in the topic that I am publishing to. I am publishing to a dynamic topic. So you can see in the topic, I'm adding a sequence number as well. So you can see in my topic, it's dynamic. So I have a sequence number in the topic, and in the body of the message, I am adding as well a dynamic body, and I'm adding also some dynamic message properties as well. So I'm adding all these kind of dynamic message properties in my message, and you can definitely see that in code if you want to delve more into it. I have my additional properties, like a dynamic additional properties. I have my outbound message. I'm creating the outbound message as well dynamically with a different body, and also adding additional properties. And all what I have to do every time I publish, I just publish my outbound message that I want. So that's
Tamimi, one thing before you move away from your source code there, can you just go and check your subscription for just a second?
Yes.
Because where do you create your topic sub string?
For my subscriber?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my subscriber. It is
top
direct receiver and topic subscriptions over here.
Yeah.
So my topic subscriptions, I have these topics. So with the topic prefix,
Yeah.
and so I'm subscribed to 2 different topics. But right now, what I'm seeing here is the topic prefix, subscribe to everything in the topic prefix. And that topic prefix is Solace samples Python.
Right. So I'm publishing on Solace samples Java. So that is why you're not seeing my Java ones.
So all what I got to do is if I want to subscribe to another topic and say Solace samples that, right?
Sure.
Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to stop this, clean this. I just added a new subscription, and obviously there is an error. I put a period, comma.
Ooh.
There you go.
That's better.
That is better. So let's try this again. Right, my name is Tamimi.
Yes. Yes.
So
let's see if this works.
Let's see if this works. I am subscribed. So here you go. I see.
There we are.
Aaron.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I see the messages that are published by Aaron under Solace samples Java. Hello, Aaron. There's Tamimi. There's also more Aaron because he's publishing every 5 seconds. So you can see that we're both using different APIs connected to the same broker, and I am receiving the messages published by Aaron from his Java microservice.
If I switch back to mine here for a second.
All right.
Oh, it's so meta. There we go. Yeah, I got the same thing. So on my side, I can see hello world Aaron, hello world Tamimi, Aaron Tamimi, Aaron Tamimi, and it's just alternating between the two. So
nice.
There you go, multi-protocol interaction. You know, if you're writing Python, Java, JMS, I mean, we could even we could really quickly show. You know, we got our people probably know our good old try me tab. You know, this is all running in the Solace cloud here. Hey, you're gonna work. There we go. I can actually connect my subscriber here. Hey, I want to listen to everything. So this is our JavaScript API. This guy should be able to see all the same stuff as well. There we are.
Because every 5 seconds we're publishing.
Yeah. So here we are. We have a JavaScript WebSocket connection, listening to the same broker and pulling that same traffic. So we have 3 different API languages all talking to each other.
Yeah, people are liking this. Saying very nice, very nice. I like that. Thank you.
Well, check out the samples. Check out the blogs. There's another blog about the Python API. To me, I don't know if you want to plug that, but similar to the one that was when we released the Java API here.
Yeah. I want to point out as well, like what you're showing on the screen.
This one?
Right now. So if you we have 3 different APIs right now connected to the broker. So if you just show the Solace.dev
JavaScript. Hello.
Exactly. So we have a Java API, a Python API, and a JavaScript API that is connected to the broker, and they're all publishing. And right now, I am receiving the JavaScript API as well from my end as well. Hi, Tamimi. Let me see that. Oh, I see it. Okay, I see that you published it. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's the you know, the nice thing about it. Can you open Solace.dev real quick? Just show the diagram. Solace.dev. So in the diagram right now, we have what we're doing is we connected using the all Solace APIs, but also if you connect using any other protocol, you can also receive these subscriptions. So we did we were publishing on a public broker, so you as well could go in there and check it out. But that's right. That's what I have. All right, that's cool.
So I'm gonna attempt this RDP thing now, just because I think it would be neat to do very quickly. So I'm gonna just stop my
quick question before you continue. Someone was asking the difference between Boomi versus the Solace API. So just gonna quickly mention this. Boomi is an iPaaS platform, integration platform as a service, where you can integrate with other integrations within the platform itself. We do have a Solace connector at Boomi. This means that you can connect to a Solace broker from your Boomi atmosphere, from your Boomi canvas, directly to Solace. And the Solace connector in Boomi uses SMF API, which is Solace messages format. It's a native API. We're connecting we're using the Solace native API to connect to the broker. So I hope this answers the question. I don't know if this was exactly your question, but if you have any other follow-up questions, Jinu Kumar, feel free to put it in the chat window. I'm happy to answer the questions. Cool.
Right.
We just showed very cool demos right now for 3 different APIs interacting together, publishing messages. Now, Aaron, what are you going to show us?
I'm going to show you, I wish I had a diagram for this because I don't. But basically, I'm going to show you some of the new feature around RDP variable substitution, which was developed specifically for integration with cloud native services, data lakes, and RESTful architectures. Yeah, like I said, I don't have a diagram. There's a great blog written by Rob Tompkins that kind of walks through some use cases for this, but I'm just going to really do a quick demo just to show you. In order to demo this, I have so the Solace broker, I have configured an RDP, a REST delivery point with a REST consumer that does a webhook out to a URL. For that backend web service, I'm just using, I have a little node test server here. I mean, the code looks a little ugly. This is literally copied off of this is on Solace community. I posted my little node test server. All it does is expose a REST endpoint and echo everything to the console. So all it's just going to do is dump any received REST request to the console. So I'm just going to go ahead and start that. There we go. Now it's listening. And on my broker, again, I'm not going to go through all the configuration. It's already set up, but I'm just going to show that. Hopefully it's up and configured. So this is using CLI. Of course, you can do all of this through our web manager as well, but this is just showing that the REST delivery point called RDP1 is up and connected. Everything is bound and we're good to go. So now for this, I'm going to use Tamimi's Python topics that are being published into the broker. So if you give me just 2 seconds, I've set up a bridge. Not that Tamimi doesn't actually know about this. So public to local. So I'm actually connecting out to from my local broker running. I'm connecting out to the public broker and subscribing to those Python topics, pulling them down, and then inside my broker, I have configuration that says anything that receives on Solace samples, we're going to put into that RDP and post out to my backend web server. So you can see here that as soon as I turned that bridge on, the messages started flowing. I am now receiving those messages.
That is very neat.
Okay. You can see I got some headers here. I got Solace message ID. I have your body, hello from Python world sample. The messages are going up. And you can see that the
post, I was just going to ask you, like, what's that post URL?
So in the Solace messaging configuration, the REST messaging configuration, as part of your queue binding, you have a statically configured post request target. This is kind of the webhook, the URL that you are posting out to. The RDP variable substitutions allows us to make this dynamic. And so that's what I want to show you. You know what? I'm going to try to use the GUI because you can do it with the GUI. I prefer CLI because I'm I don't know, masochist, I guess. But
you're a hacker.
We're gonna see. Hopefully, can you read that all right? Is that
yeah. And just as you're doing this, a quick reminder to people that you could do any broker configuration using the CLI, GUI, or using the SEMP REST API. So there's kind of 3 different ways you can configure and manage your Solace broker.
That's right. Everything that you can do inside the GUI tool here, the PubSub Plus Manager, you can also automate and script using our fully RESTful management API called SEMP. So, because pointing and clicking is fine for like 1 or 2 things, but if you had to make 100 queues or 100 client usernames, you want to script that stuff, right?
Totally.
So, okay, so I have I have a queue called queue RDP-1. You can see my topic subscription. This is how I am attracting those topics into my RDP. So I'm listening to Tamimi's Python samples. And we go back over to the REST client, into my RDP, specifically the queue bindings. The queue binding is where you specify the post request target. So this is where you say, I want a webhook to this URL.
So this means anything that comes into that queue, just post it to this URL.
Yeah, so this is the request target. In terms of where it's going, that's in your REST consumer configuration. So if I quickly just check this, you can see here is my local host essentially. Port 9090 is what my little node server is listening on.
Nice.
You can do post or put. You know, some web services require a put, so you can
Right.
change that here, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to go into. So let's go back to that queue binding. So this is where the magic happens. So I'm going to edit this. You'll notice this is brand new. So this is the new feature that was added, request target evaluation. I'm going to switch this to substitution expressions.
Cool. Okay.
And now as part of that, I could, instead of just publishing to a static outbound, I want to do something like, you could actually use the original topic name. So I'm going to use topic, and I'm going to hit save, and then switch back to my console here. And all of a sudden, you'll see my post.
Whoa, that's
is
cool.
Now, let me just zoom in a little bit there. So now my post, as you can see, is posting to post outbound Solace samples, blah, 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 blah. But
nice.
Maybe I don't want this whole long topic. Maybe I only want part of it, right? So maybe I just want the name of the person that's doing it, right? So I want to specify that specific. You can specify a level. So let's edit this one more time. I'm going to say level number, it's 4. Let's try that. Save that again, switch back. Oh, no, hello. I guess it's level 5.
Yeah.
Let's do level 5. There we go. Hit apply. And there we go. So now I've dynamically, based on the topic of the inbound message or the original message, where I want to post that to.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing is that you can add custom HTTP headers as well. You can add new headers. You'll see that some of them are auto-populated by the actual message. So Solace message ID, Solace user property, blah, blah, blah. But you could actually add custom ones yourself. So when you're integrating with a data lake or something, you might require some special token or some secret key. You can tell the RDP how to extract that from your message and stick it into the header. So let's make
some services would require some customization in your header. Like before you make a post request to a server that it's up, they expect a particular header to be included in your request.
Yeah, something like so. In this blog, which I guess I'll remember, I'll share the link for. Rob goes through kind of a couple use cases where you're posting into. So for example, create a request here called XMS client request ID and generate a unique identifier or something. So you can specify, you can grab a token somewhere out of your message and stick it into that. So I'm going to just let's make something static. So how about I can just say static, hit apply. And if I pop back over to my REST server here, I should now see, there it is. Aaron,
nice.
Solace Aaron custom. So I can basically, populate it with something static in the RDP, or you can use the, those
variable substitution.
The variable substitutions again. So instead of static, let's say I want to publish the message ID that he had there. So I'm going to say that this is the application message ID. Hit save again. What? Close. Come on. Live demos, eh?
Yeah.
Go. Hit apply. And now, Aaron's Solace custom.
Nice.
There you go. That's your.
This is the custom message ID that I am dynamically setting from my Python sample. That is very neat.
Right. You'll notice that the one that Solace populates, the message ID here, has this %20, and mine has a space, and that's because I didn't URL encode it. So if you want to be real proper, you can also URL encode this thing. I'm not going to go through all of the details on it, but there is a awesome page in our documentation that talks all about the substitution expressions. Topic, how to get from the topic. You can put in timestamps, sender IDs, unique identifiers.
Very nice.
And you can even grab specific user properties. I don't think we have time to demonstrate that, but you can actually, if you have a bunch of user properties, you can tell it to build either a HTTP header or build your post request target using a user property. So really allows you to customize for whatever REST service you're trying to send into based on the contents of your message.
This is very cool because right now this opens up a wide range of possibilities with REST delivery point and Solace. Like if you are really working on event enabling your REST architecture or event enabling any REST interaction, this goes to kind of show that a lot of people start asking like, oh my God, I have a lot of like REST-based services in my microarchitecture. If I want in my service, do I need to replace it with like an event-based? That's not usually the case. Like sometimes you want to work with them harmoniously. So an RDP like integration with Solace allows you to event enable your REST architecture by still using your REST-based services with Solace and with eventing. And now, if your REST-based services require some dynamic headers or some dynamic URLs or even some dynamic properties, you can use variable substitution, and you could set those variables from any microservice that is publishing to the Solace broker. So even though right now we are using native Solace APIs, you can even, for example, have an IoT device that is connected to Solace and publishing using MQTT, for example.
5.0 has user properties, so you
could pass user properties.
That's right.
You can pass user properties. You can publish to a different topic, and the Solace broker will handle this natively. So it's very neat. Lots of opportunities from this, and I am like super excited and curious to see what other people might use this for. Like, what use cases do you think this would be useful for? I think that was pretty neat.
I think I'm done, so I can stop sharing now.
And we are wrapping up. We're coming to an end of our meta. That's so meta. Okay, that was great. I really enjoyed this demo. We went over, to kind of like wrap it up. We went over all the Solace APIs. We gave an overview about the different APIs Solace has. We did a live demo using Java and Python and JavaScript. It's a pretty simple JavaScript portion.
Yeah.
A little bit of JavaScript. We showed the interaction between the different APIs, and we showed some very cool features of the broker, which is the variable substitution as well. I thought that was pretty neat. Oh, and we also showed a little bit of like bridging. So you bridged
a little bit of bridging. Yep.
A little bit of bridging. Yeah, we bridged a cloud-based broker into Aaron's local broker, so that all the events, all the traffic that's going to cloud are bridged into Aaron's local broker. So I think
that was using a VPN bridge, which is like kind of like a static on-off type configuration. But I could have set it up with DMR, enabling the event mesh. And so basically, as soon as I turned on my RDP and that subscription became activated, the mesh would have like kind of just started pulling those messages.
Yeah, instead of like pulling, instead of pulling all the traffic that's coming in, you can only pull the traffic that match the subscription that that you have, and that's something very neat about DMR.
Next time
we could delve into so many things. Like every single time we open a new topic, we could like delve more into we could delve more into so many different features. But again, that was great. Solace.
Old school.
New school.
Gary.
Old school.
I love this. I love this hoodie. That's why I still wear it. It's the old. I'm out of date. I'm old.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. When I shared my screen, you probably saw a notification from my calendar saying that I have a dentist appointment. So I will get going. But that was great, Aaron. Thank you very much. Anybody on the chat, on the stream, if you have any questions, come to the community, ask them over there. But thank you again, Aaron. Thanks. Go enjoy your weather, your warm weather, and we will chat later. Join the Solace community, and that is pretty much it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Brandon.
All right. See you next time.
All right. See y'all later.
Happy holidays and all that.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I don't have a Christmas hat, but happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Peace. Bye.